Hey y'all, welcome back. Just wanted to encourage you guys to keep taking those deep breaths. Keep breathing. Remain present in the moment. Regulating your nervous system, right? Transition out of survival mode. It's a process. Don't happen overnight. And really, I want to challenge you guys to sit in silence for 5 minutes. If you've never done it, try it. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Believe it or not, it's a lot of us who can't even do that. And 5 minutes may not seem like a long time, but when you sitting in silence, it can seem a lot longer than 5 minutes, right? Sit in 5 minutes. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. See what comes up for you. Regulating your nervous system is a learning process, right? If you have been following me, I speak a lot about survival mode, regulate your nervous system, staying present in the moment, not really focusing too much on the future, not really focused on the past, just really focusing on right here, right now, in this present moment. Those of you who have followed me for quite some time know I come from a broken family. I have a mother and a father who were drug addicts my whole entire life. And with that being said, life has been my teacher, right? And it's no knock to my mom and dad, because now that I am really healing and working on myself, I understand that they were just doing the best that they could with what they had, right, for that time in their journey. And they have their own journeys. What was their journey like? What was their upbringing like, right? Most of the time, we only do what we know. So if you were parented a certain way, then that's how you're going to parent your children, not knowing that it's not necessarily the best way to do so. I read a book a while ago called The Conscious Parent. And after reading that book, it really resonated with me, because I really had a realization that the way I was parenting my children was not necessarily the healthiest way to do things. Now, to hear myself say that to those who are not doing the work, it may sound like I'm being hard on myself, or it sounds like it's like, oh, well, you do the best you can, like blah blah blah, all this type of stuff. But I'm not saying that I wasn't raising my kids healthy to say, hey, woe is me, so forth and so on. I'm saying that because that's me sitting in my truth. That's me being honest with myself and understanding that I was doing the best that I knew how, right? I thought that I was doing what was best. The choices that I made for that time in my journey, I felt that it was best for that time that I made those choices, right? But we don't know the effects of our choices until after the fact. Years down the line, you see how whether it's intentional or unintentional trauma that we cause on our children, we don't know the effects of that until later on down the line. So what I'm learning to do every day is to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday, right? So starting with self, me being a better human being in this experience, right? But that starts with unlearning, right? And relearning, right? Unprogramming your mind to what you knew to be true, right? Now you gotta unprogram that's a process. You're not gonna just flip a switch on and just, okay, this is how I am. You're still gonna have your regressional moments. You're still gonna have your days when you may still revert back to that version of you that you're still trying to heal day by day. So I'm learning to unlearn, relearn. I am learning to give myself grace. I am learning to forgive myself. I am learning that I am enough. I am learning that I am worthy. I am learning that everything is exactly as it should be, right? I have traumas. A lot of you have followed me. I have mama wounds and daddy wounds that I'm still working through every day, right? And I say that because I don't have healthy relationships with either one of my parents, and that's not by my choice, right? So I'm learning that everything is exactly as it should be. So I don't question. I'm just learning how to be grateful, because it can always be worse, right? When you start to accept that things happen for you and not to you, it's easy to play the victim, right? It's easy to blame somebody else, right? But when you have to really start sitting with your shit and really owning your shit, it takes courage to do that. It takes willpower, right? And when you start really doing the work, you start to understand, like, hey, I'm walking in my power. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what society has labeled you to be, narratives that people, create about you, lies, and so forth and so on, you learn to be okay with not being okay. You learn to understand that, hey, I am who I am, right? I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I like to have open and honest, transparent conversations, right? If we got a problem, let's have a conversation. I can't read your mind, right? Let's talk about it. So I feel like healing starts within. You have to look within to find who you are, what you are, what are you here for. And as I'm learning all these things about myself every day, right, I'm also seeing the growth in myself. I'm also seeing the change in my children, right? Because now they're getting the healing version of me. And I'm still growing and healing every day. But when I take accountability and responsibility for the choices that I made in my life, good, bad, or indifferent, you start to really hug on yourself, kiss on yourself, right? And understand that things are exactly as they should be. Exactly as they should be. I put a quote on my status today. I don't know who the source was, but it says, once you realize the power of your mind, you won't just think anything. When you realize the power of your tongue, you won't just speak anything. And when you realize the power of your presence, you won't just be anywhere. So I want to encourage you guys to keep breathing. Keep staying present in the moment. I'm going to always say that, because I'm learning every day to regulate my nervous system, to remain present. Like I said before, not be so focused on the future, not be so focused on the past, just focus on right here, right now. I only have control over what I choose right here in this moment. It's not about the experiences that come up, right? It's about how you respond, how you react. And like I said before, I don't respond the way I used to respond. A lot of things are not worth my energy. But just because I don't say anything, don't mean that I'm not paying attention, don't mean that I'm not observing, and don't mean that I'm not aware. It's just not worth the energy, right? To have the courage to be unliked. Oh yeah. To have the courage to be unliked in this chaotic world that we live in, right? So I'm always going to encourage you guys to tap into yourselves, love yourselves, right? Know that you are enough. Know that you are worthy. Know that you are doing the best that you can with what you have. Learn to be grateful. And we all on this journey together, side by side, right? And we're learning every day to be a better version of ourselves. So again, choose. Make a different choice.